Hey guys, Tyler here, and this is the Garage Warrior podcast and video cast. And I'm super excited today to have on the call with me Vince Del Monte, my man Vince. How's it going?
Good, man. I'm feeling that energy.
Right on, brother. Well, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to get on the call and everything. We have a hot topic today, something that's been around for a very long time. It's kind of controversial. Some people say you should do it. Some people say you shouldn't do it. And that topic today is juicing. So we're going to dig into that. Before we do, I always want to give people a background, just in case they don't know who Vince Del Monte is. Give us the 50,000 mile view. Who are you? What are you hoping to teach the world, Vince?
So I'm on a mission to help guys live large inside and outside of the gym. I believe life is a metaphor, or the gym is a metaphor for life. And I believe if you can transform your body, I believe you can transform your relationships, your career, and your lifestyle. And I'm living proof of that. I know, Tyler, you're living proof of that. And we're amongst an entire group of friends and business owners and colleagues who are living proof of that message. So, I think the physical body is a great place to start. So I use my skinny Vinny to muscular story as a platform to help people transform their body. And then I help people build muscle. That's my primary thing. And then I also talk a lot about how to improve other areas of your life. So I'm pretty much known as a skinny guy expert, the skinny guy savior. That's the nickname I've received, and I just basically help skinny guys build muscle, and that was a struggle I used to live with for a long time.
Right on, man. So he's got the Skinny Guy Savior View. I love the fact that you're launching this platform of like mental transformation through a physical means. I think that's so powerful because people don't realize how amazing it is. If you can actually transform your body, even just a little bit, let's say just like a 20-pound shift in body fat to muscle, you're going to look completely differently and you're going to feel differently about what you're able to accomplish. So I think that's a great platform that you're launching that from. And that kind of ties us into the beginning of this conversation. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit later down the road. But the physical body, right? How do we transform the physical body? And we're going to talk today a lot about nutrition and juicing and so on and so forth. So one of the habits you've been talking about lately is juicing. Why should people juice, Vinny?
Why not? I mean, that's the question. Try and convince me why not, first off.
Right, right.
But I mean, we've all been told ever since a young age that we need to consume, um, 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And to me, that's a pretty lame standard. When I met Dr. John Berardi, one of my mentors, professor of mine at the University of Western, he said, you should strive for 10 to 15 if you're looking for optimal. Tyler, I'm not interested in being average.
Right.
That's not my goal in life. My goal is not to be normal. My goal is to be the best I can be. My goal is to get the most out of this short time on life that we have here. So when I make recommendations based on optimal. My goal is to be optimal. I want to get the most out of my body. So I teach my clients how to get in at least 10 to 15 servings. I don't tell them. I recommend that they get in at least 10 to 15 servings of vegetables a day minimum. And if you really want to be optimal, 16 to 20.
Wow. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. I mean, the reality is, like, there's this whole paleo craze. There's a lot of protein craze going on right now. And something I feel like a lot of people neglect is like asking themselves that true question. Do I eat 10 servings of vegetables a day? That's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think many people do, and I don't. And that was actually why I was interested in juicing and blending your vegetables and drinking them. I was looking for a solution because I'm aware of the benefits of consuming vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and enzymes, things that stimulate your cells and create health internally. Because if you're not healthy on the inside, you're not going to be healthy on the outside. So,
Sure.
I was looking for a solution to getting these recommended 10 to 15 servings. And I'll be honest, even during my contest prep where my life revolved around eating every 3 hours, even if you're doing 2 cups a meal, that's 12 servings a day if you're doing 6 meals a day. And that's on the extreme end. Most people aren't going to do that.
That's a huge amount of eating, right?
Exactly. So that's where I started doing some research into juicing and looking into the incorporating these such priceless, I call them secret weapons, these fruits and vegetables into my diet in an easy way. That literally takes less than 5 minutes a day. I mean, you really don't have an excuse not to unless you're lazy.
Sure. So that kind of brings us to one of the misconceptions around juicing, and that's a lot of people think you've got to, you got to juice this, you've got to cut all these vegetables, you got to do this, you got to do that, then you got to wash everything up, and it's going to take me a half hour, and so on and so forth. How do you go about it to save time, and how do you go about it to get the best results in the least amount of time?
It's a habit. I mean, I won't lie, it does take a bit of time at the start, you know. I
Oh,
mean,
just
we're
getting the
just
recipes dialed and everything, right?
Yeah, well, for that, I went to the expert and I went to a guy that specializes in this. This is all he does. He's the world's leading health expert in juicing. We can talk more about that relationship in a moment. But I mean, like most people, I just try to do it on my own, and that's not necessarily wrong. You know, I just listen to free advice and listen to people talk about using a base of celery and cucumber, and then adding other things like anything from beets or collard greens or any depending on what your goals are, you can start to go you can go off in all sorts of tangents. And what happened was I felt great, I felt amazing, and I looked better. Felt I guess I didn't understand that I saw the importance of vegetables after I started seeing that my bloating went down. I've always been a little bloated in the stomach,
Hmm.
so I realized that this was helping my digestive process, and I started noticing less bloating around my waistline. And the problem when I was going at it on my own was every once in a while you make a pretty nasty one.
Oh man, I hear that so bad. I juiced for a long time years ago, and I've been trying to get more into it nowadays. Specifically because of that, I want to eat more vegetables. I'm not getting enough vegetables in my diet, and I was experimenting with some recipes. And one guy had said to use garlic and habanero, and so I juiced a bulb of garlic and a habanero pepper. And after the first sip, it felt like a lightning bolt shot through my
Yeah.
intestines, and I was like on the ground squealing and shaking, and it was the worst idea ever, man. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've made some serious juicing mistakes in my day too, man.
Yeah, so I mean, nobody wants to pour their money down the drain. So, what happened to me when I was doing it on my own, I ended up making more than one bad drink, and then I just lost interest. I lost motivation. I was just
Sure.
like, this is just becoming annoying. So I kind of put it on the back burner for a while. Didn't really reintroduce it until recently, when I got my elbow surgery back in March, and I was sidelined for minimum 4 months. And my diet, I'm kind of one of those all or none guys. So if I'm not training, I don't feel motivated to eat clean. I won't lie, that's just me.
Right.
And so I kind of blew my diet. But the only thing I didn't give up, or I didn't want to um, the only thing I wanted to incorporate was juicing during that period. So I feel that helped me kind of counterbalance a less than stellar diet during my recovery. And I was just flooding my body with vitamins and minerals for 4 months because I was mainly interested in helping my elbow recover quicker, reducing inflammation, and helping with my hormones and that. So since then, it's become a habit. Like literally, I'm proud to say I juice every single morning. I wake up within 15 minutes of rising. I'm downstairs in my kitchen cutting up anywhere from 4 to 7 different vegetables. I follow my own juicing guide recipes, and I just pick out the goal that I have in mind, and that's all there is to it. It takes me literally probably 5 to 10 minutes, because yeah, you do want to wash them. You want to get rid of any pesticides, herbicides that are on them, even if they're organic. They've still been handled, they've still been carried in trucks, so you still want to wash them. And then you prep them, you cut them up, and that doesn't take long at all. And I personally use a blender right now. I don't actually own a juicer as of right now. I'm waiting for one to arrive in the mail. And then I drink it for myself, and my wife drinks it as well. And what's been pretty amazing is that my wife and I, we've just had our first daughter, and she's 8 weeks old, and she got to experience 10 months of juicing every day. Like that's an amazing, amazing gift you can give your child. So we actually had our blood work done, or not our blood work, we had a urinalysis done just a few days ago with our naturopath, and we're looking at our alkalinity, our pH balance in our body, and we both scored 8. 7 is where you want to be, and we scored 8. So we were in really good shape, and the naturopath said, whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Interesting.
So yeah, so we're seeing it. It's not like a fluke. It's not magic dust. We have data to support this is doing its job on the inside, as well as, the proof is in the pudding as well on the outside.
Right. And how you look and feel and perform and all that stuff as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing with juicing specifically. I mean, it's like, you know, notice the difference in 15 minutes. With blending, you'll feel the difference within 1 to 2 hours. Um, but if you're deficient, once you top those levels, you're gonna notice an improvement immediately. You're gonna start absorbing what you're eating much better. So, a lot of people are obsessed with their macronutrients, and because they're lacking micronutrients, their body's unable to absorb all those nutrients from the foods they're currently eating. So it
Right.
turns into become a nasty cycle.
Right, right. I'm so glad you mentioned the blender, and then I want to tackle those macronutrients and micronutrients. So you're saying basically people don't even need a juicer because I have a juicer, and sometimes it is a hassle to have to clean that bad boy up. So you just use a blender in the morning, is that right?
I use both. Sorry, I use a blender primarily. Yeah, I had a juicer way back in the day, and I don't think it was a good one. Yeah, because it took a long time to clean too. So I understand it was a bit of a burden, but blending is simple, especially if you've got a Vitamix. I mean, I spent $500 on this thing about 7 years ago, and I still have it, and it's never broken down on me. So it's probably one of the best kitchen investments I ever
Right.
made, especially as a young guy. Um, so yeah, that's a quick fix. Blending's great, and you keep the fiber intact too.
Sure.
So if you want to focus on if fiber is a goal of yours, then you'll be getting that benefit as well. So all of the recipes that we've created and that Drew's have created work great blending or juicing. They taste equally great.
Can you give us an example of a recipe? You mentioned starting with cucumber and celery as a base, which is something I completely agree with. Where do you go from there to start making these things taste great?